Alright, I was gonna do shorts, but I decided I'm just gonna do a video. Fuck it. Haven't done one in a bit. I don't think I've done one since the Star Wars thing. But anyway, yeah, let's do this, shall we? Why I have a unpopular and possibly controversial opinion on George A. Romero himself. I like these three films. I own all three of them, obviously. I own all three. I like all three. I like this film quite a bit, but I like the remake more. I think the only character in this trilogy is Ben from the original. He's the only really good character. And I think it's more of Dwayne Jones's performance than Romero's writing. And I think that's a big thing. I don't think his directing is that great. I don't think he's that well. I don't think he was that great of a director. And I don't think on the page his writing was all there either. Well, maybe you just don't like older black and white films, because, you know, the original is black and white. Well, that's not true, because I love the original Nosferatu and the original Thing from Another World. So that's not true. And these movies as well. I love these films. These are some of my favorite films of all time. The Frankenstein movies in particular. Some of my favorite films of all time. In fact, Bride of Frankenstein an all-timer for me. So no, it's not that they're black and white. It's his writing. I don't think his writing was really that good. I don't think his directing was all that good either. I think he's a fine writer and director. Even The Crazies, I think his original is fine, and I think I think that the remake from 2011 or 2010, whenever that came out, I think that's a much better film. I don't own either of them, but yeah, I think it's much better than the original film. I don't know. I started watching the documentary, the George A. Romero's Resident Evil documentary, and in the beginning of the doc, they go through like the three films, these three films, talking about how his characters are all more relatable and more this and more that, and they're well written and all that. I'm like, really? Because I don't need characters to be relatable for me to like them. I don't relate to Batman. I don't relate to Superman. I don't relate to the Flash. I don't relate to the Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't relate to Iron Man, Captain America, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern. You know, I don't relate to Jason Voorhees. I don't relate to fucking Darth Vader. Some of my favorite characters of all time. Darth Vader being my favorite character of all time. Jason Voorhees is in my top 3. Might even be my number 1. Or my number 2, excuse me. I don't need to relate to a character. Godzilla. I don't fucking relate to Godzilla. I don't think it's there on the page. I think the best thing about particularly these two films is the gore stuff. The gore in this film is the best gore I think I've ever seen in a movie. But I would say of these three films, the characters in this film are the weakest, easily, for me. They actually pretty much hinder the film, for me. I really don't think they're really that good. I really, if I were to watch the film, I really don't watch anything but the last, half hour of the film, when all the zombie stuff happens, because it's so well done by Savini and Co. It's so well done. I respect Romero for starting the zombie genre, well, what we know as the modern zombie genre with this film, but I've never been a huge fan of a lot of his stuff. I don't think he's there on the page. I don't think he's there. He was there as a director. I don't relate really to any of his characters. Sure, the situations are all terrible, and you should care about the characters then, but I really don't. I really don't. Even less so in his other three sequels, Land, Diary, and not what's the other one? I'm gonna look it up real quick. Where's my iPad? I'm literally gonna do this live because I don't remember. I don't like any of these. I don't like any of those three films. I think if I had to pick, A Day would or Land would be the best of the three, but zombie, MBIE, movies, Land, Survival, and Diary. Those are the three. Isn't it Land, Diary, Survival? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, no, I'm just those movies. I will say are just as bad as the Day of the Dead remake. Day of the Dead remake, the Steve Miner one with Nick Cannon, is god awful. That movie is terrible. The only thing that's good about it is when they use practical gore in the film. That's literally it. I think it's a terrible remake of a good film. And I haven't seen any of those sequels. I know they have like a couple sequels, like Day of the Dead Retribution or whatever the fuck it's called. Haven't seen it. Don't want to. Have no interest. The Night of the Living Dead remake, the Tom Savini remake, is good. I prefer the original though. So yeah, I don't love. I think Romero is a good enough director and a fine at best writer. I mean, yeah, I've never loved his three main zombie films, and I don't like his sequel trilogy, if you will. I don't like any of those films. Land is the best, but again, there's nothing to write home about in that film. Yeah, I don't care about his characters. I don't care about the stuff that really gets me in the films are the zombies. It's the gore stuff. There's no gore in any of these films. There's no gore in this film. There's no gore in this film. I don't know. I remember watching the original films back in the day and being like, yeah, they're good, but like this remake more when it came out. Again, I don't know. I don't know. Weird to me. Very, very strange. It's just a me thing, I guess. I just don't care about his writing or his directing that much. I appreciate his films, but I don't love his films. So, yeah. That's it. That's all I'm going to talk about today. Just wanted to get this out. Just want to talk it through and all that. So, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.